Welcome back to Meal Monday. Sade Jernigan here. We are going to make a roast with the Instant Pot. This is 100 Instant Pot meals. So I'm taking my frozen grass-fed roast. There's no seasoning on it. It's just plain meat, and I'm going to set my Instant Pot to saute. So I like to do custom 3 bars because if I do high saute, then it's going to burn really, really fast. So I add olive oil, maybe about 2 tablespoons, more or less, whatever you prefer. And then I'm going to stick this roast even while it's still preheating. So it's no particular time. It just depends on how seared you want this meat. And yes, even though it's frozen, it still sears really well. And then as one side is searing, I'm going to chop up some garlic and onion. And then that's going to be added after this is all seared on one side. And it would be great to sear all 4 sides, but I'm a busy mom of 3 and I homeschool them, and I just need this as quick as possible. So I take a lot of shortcuts. It may not be exactly, you may want to switch it up a little bit, but this is what works for me, and I love this. I usually do a roast every Tuesday night because that's when my kids go to Awanas at church. So what I do is I go ahead and get this whole started because it's going to be after I sear both sides and saute a little bit, this is going to be about 1 hour and 45 minutes just because I like the meat to be falling apart. And it's amazing that I'm taking frozen chuck roast or whatever it is. I'm taking one that's completely frozen, and I'm going to have, in about 2 hours, a roast from frozen. It's amazing. And the most important part is the fact that I get to walk away from it. So I put all the ingredients in there, and I could walk away, take care of my kids for 1 hour and 45 minutes while it's going, and you get so much done. So anyways, of course, this onion's going to make me cry. A good tip is to put it in the refrigerator first, and I always forget to do that, so I end up just crying. But anyways, I love this recipe. It's so delicious, and if it wasn't for the Instant Pot, I definitely wouldn't be making a roast every week. So now it's all chopped up. I'm going to put that aside, as well as chopping up the garlic, and we're just going to work on that, and then we're going to add it in here in a minute. All right, here it is, you guys. Searing on this side. We're going to go ahead and flip it over. It's not going to be perfect. It definitely could be seared more, but this is good enough for me. It has that little spot right there that just adds more flavor. I love when you caramelize the onions and sear. It definitely could be done longer, but like I said, busy mom over here. I got to do it quick. So I'm not a perfectionist by any means. If I was a perfectionist, I wouldn't cook from scratch because it would just take way too long. So I'm going to be happy with this. And it's very important to sear the onions after you seared one side. Otherwise, they're going to get so burnt and it's going to be kind of a mess. And the only reason why I know is because I've done it that way and it wasn't good. So I ended up having to forget searing both sides and only sear one side. So sear one side first, flip it over, then add the onions and the garlic. And if you need to add a little bit more olive oil because it's burning, you could go ahead and do that. All right, so let's go ahead and flip it over. This side is a lot better, but that's okay. And I'm going to skip searing the sides just because I want to do it quickly. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and add 2 cups of water. Then I'm going to take my frozen chicken broth and add 2 cups of my frozen chicken broth. And then Worcestershire sauce, I do 2 tablespoons. And this adds such a good flavor. You want to remember, though, not to add too much salt if you're doing this part because this is adding more sodium there. So usually I do the garlic salt to taste. So now I'm going to do a teaspoon of rosemary, and this makes it taste so good. And then also I'm going to do 1 teaspoon of thyme seasoning. Then you're going to add garlic salt to taste. Make sure you don't put too much garlic salt or pepper until the end, just because you don't want to oversalt it. I've made that mistake so many times. It's always better to be conservative on that, and then you can always add more later. All right, now that's everything that we need. We're going to put this on high pressure for 1 hour and 45 minutes. And that sounds like a long time, but it's not because it's completely rock solid frozen. And your times are going to be completely different if this is not frozen, if your meat's not frozen, but this recipe I'm doing specifically for frozen because all my roasts are frozen. So that's kind of how I do it, and I get to walk away, take care of my kids. But in the meantime, I'm definitely going to cut up the carrots and potatoes and set those aside so that way I don't have to worry about it. Because I make this every Tuesday night, I like to throw these in and then go to Awana's and do all that stuff with my kids. And that way, when my husband gets home, he's going to have dinner ready for him. All right, and I'm just going to take off some of the skin, not all of it. I usually leave a little bit, and I think it's because growing up, my mom always told me the skin was the healthiest part of the potato. So even when I make mashed potatoes, I will mainly skin them just because I like that smooth texture, but I always leave at least just a little bit of skin on there. All right, let's go ahead and set these aside, put some saran wrap over it and put it in the refrigerator, and we will take this back out when it's done. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and release the pressure. It's over, and then from there, you're gonna see the amazing roast, which I'm so excited. I love it. Filled with so much iron and good vitamins for my kids. And I just love to cook it longer because I like it to fall apart like this instead of it being tough. And I've done it lesser time before and it felt like it was a lot more difficult to shred it, whereas this just kind of falls apart. All right, now that it's all broken up, I'm going to go ahead and add the potatoes and carrots and mix that around a little bit. I also like to add something thickener because I want the gravy in there to be thickened a little bit. So I'm going to add 2 tablespoons or more. This one I'm just doing 2 tablespoons of flour. If you want it to be gluten-free, you could add cornmeal or gluten-free flour or something like that. But I'm just going to mix it around. I don't do anything perfect. I don't whisk it together. This is just fast, easy meals. And I'm just going to mix it in there loosely and then go ahead and do high pressure for 17 minutes, which isn't long at all. And this is usually when I can let it go from there. I can leave, and then when it's done, this is the best part. When it's done, it is going to keep warm indefinitely whenever I'm ready to use it. So it could even be a couple of hours. It will just keep it warm until I'm ready to use it. And this is the meal that I love to do when I'm not going to be home in the evening and my husband can come home to a warm homemade cooked meal even if I'm not here. So anyways, love this recipe. Please give it a thumbs up and share this video. Give it a subscribe if you want to see more instant pot meals for Meal Monday. I'm doing 100 of them and I hope you enjoy.